Hello there! So I did my prediction video last week, and I did it in a comedic way because I thought I'd just get a video quickly done. I was going to Germany, so I thought I'd just get something done, but I got 3 wrong. I tipped Collingwood, I tipped Richmond, and I tipped Melbourne, I'm fairly certain. Early one I got right was Freo, and that looked awful in the first half until like the end of the second quarter. Freo were hopeless, but they staged a great comeback, and it was all Freo in the second half. They dominated that second half, and I got that one right. The Collingwood one, I just thought, they've won a lot of their games in the past, how many ever rounds. Yes, I know a lot of the teams they beat were quite low down, but still, it was good form. It was impressive form. And Geelong, they're known for doing well in home and away, and they're not doing so well in the finals. So I factored that in, and I thought the Magpies might have this. And they almost did. The first quarter, they did very well, had a good start, and then Geelong fought back, and eventually, it was a very good game. Like, this was one of the best, maybe the best finals week one. It's definitely the best week one I've seen, definitely. I did put a poll up in the community post, and most of you did vote that this was the best finals week one. Every game was good, You had a classic high scoring, constantly, Mudge was never too high between Brisbane and Richmond. That was entertaining. And then you had Melbourne, Sydney. Yes, in the end, Sydney won by a decent amount of points, but that was very close for most of the game, and then Sydney pulled away. And I'd also argue that ending, the way Sydney defended their lead, and the way they played the last quarter, was very good to watch, entertainment-wise, even though it wasn't as close anymore. I wanted Melbourne to win as well, but I don't mind Sydney, so the fact that Sydney have a home SCG prelim sounds cool to me. So yeah, we'll see. I actually tipped Melbourne to win the flag, so there's bad news for me, but they're still there. They're still there. We'll get to our predictions in a second, and then you got to Saturday, Geelong Collingwood. What a game! What a game! That was incredible. At the start, looked worrying for Geelong, but they fought back in the second quarter, and then the second half, back and forth constantly, and Geelong managed to get over the line at the right time. I think the Magpies were ahead for a lot of it, actually, but yeah, speaking of ahead for a lot of it, I think the Bulldogs were ahead for about 91 minutes, something ridiculous like that, and Freo had not been ahead almost the whole game, but they won when it mattered. That was incredible. It looked like it was going to be a blowout. We were maybe overdue a blowout after 3 great games, but I don't know what sparked Freo. Obviously, they had a home crowd in Perth, but, they were getting embarrassed. It kind of felt like Port Adelaide last year in the prelim. They were getting embarrassed in their own home against the Bulldogs. I thought it was going to be similar to that, but actually, Freo fought back. End of the first half, 4 huge goals, and then second half, you know what happened. So a great comeback. So yeah, we had 4 great games, and hopefully we get 5 more great games. That would be amazing, because this could be the best final series ever, depending on how the games go. But so far, it's a good start. I just hope there's no blowouts from now. So yeah, let's predict the semis. My predictions might be a bit predictable. I don't mean the pun, but yeah, you'll see why in a second. Collingwood Fremantle. I feel like Freo playing this game is better than the Dogs playing this game. Yes, I know the Dogs have won from 7th. I know they can be dangerous in the finals, especially when they've got momentum playing every week. They're good at that. The Dogs are good at that. But Freo, and I guess, not this year, but Western Australian teams, I feel like they play the G better in recent years. I think it's partly due to the Optus being similar dimensions, but I think Freo played a G better than they used to, and they did beat Collingwood there. It was 2 years ago, two years ago, sure, but they beat Collingwood at MCG at one point in a pretty big game towards the end of the season. So I think it's possible they can do it, because they've done it before. It's not in the finals, obviously. It's a different sort of thing. If they start like they did against the Bulldogs, they'll lose. They can't let Collingwood go too far ahead, not at the MCG. But I think if they can get the tactics right, it can work. It worked for the Giants. Remember the Giants in that prelim? Yeah? Something like that. Who knows? They've got a good team. I personally don't think they make it past this point. I hope they prove me wrong. But my thoughts process was they'd win a finals game in week 1 at home in Perth, and then they'd lose. That's what I thought would happen. It's their first time in the finals in not too long. It's been 2015, I think. That was the Hawthorn prelim, right? So yeah, it wasn't that long ago, but still, it's been long enough for them to not be used to finals Philly. So I'm just not sure they'll do it. And I spoke all of this about how Freo could possibly win. My tip is Collingwood. So prove me wrong, please prove me wrong. Although in my opinion, this is the who loses to Sydney derby. So we'll leave it at that. Melbourne, Brisbane. I doubted the Lions against the Tigers. I doubted the Lions in general for this final series. I'll get the Lion in shots there with the Hawthorn football. But yeah, the whole game against Richmond, I was thinking the Tigers will win this. Tigers will win this. Like, I didn't have faith in Brisbane. It's because, like, the last 3 years, they finished top 4. They've gotten to 1 prelim. They've not done much with it. That's all I'm saying. Yes, obviously, the first time they were back, obviously, you wouldn't expect that much. They went on straight sets, fine. But, like, the following 2 years, final experience was building. They weren't doing enough with it, I feel. And then this year, obviously, last year, they only just made the top 4 on the last day. This year, they dropped down the top 4. I just thought, yeah, they get home final to start with, but, you know, it's going to be tougher for them. Maybe they need this, though. Maybe they need this sort of route. As for Melbourne, obviously, last year, they were dominant premiers. They were incredible last year. This year, you know, recent weeks, it's they're guaranteed to play the MCG now. So that's one thing. Like, they're not going to leave the MCG. But maybe that could be a bad thing. Just when you consider the last few weeks, they beat Collingwood. They lost to Collingwood by a few points. They lost to Carlton. Sorry, I get my games mixed up. I almost said they beat Collingwood, lost to Carlton. Sorry, they lost to Collingwood in a close one, and they beat Carlton right at the end. Cozza, great guy. I was there for both games. That was incredible. Both at home, right? Both home games. Away games, they smashed Freo in Perth. They smashed the Lions at the Gabba. Maybe recently they're better away. Maybe being at the G might not be a good thing. But it is their home ground, obviously. And I think they'll beat Brisbane. All of this talk about both of these predictions, I'm talking about the away team, about how they could do, how they could possibly win the game. Actually, I didn't talk that much about Brisbane. I talked mainly about their finals record recently. But still, both times the team I talked more about is not the team I'm tipping. I think Melbourne will win this game, and that's kind of boring because that's just all the top 4 teams. They've just made the prelims, but that just seems most likely to me. I just looked at the rest of the 8. I thought Freo and Bulldogs. I just thought to myself, neither one's making it past week 2. I hope I'm wrong, but that was just my thought process, and I didn't think the Tigers would make it that far either. Although I did say the Tigers could do something, you know, but they didn't, obviously. So yeah, I'm just stuck here thinking, what could happen? Because I look at these 2 games and I think I don't see the Premiership winner here. Like I said in my I said in my Carlton Collingwood reaction, right? I said Melbourne, Collingwood or Geelong. But now I'm throwing Sydney in there as well. So yeah, let me know what you think down below. Like, who do you think will win the flag? But this is just for fun, right? No harm in here. But I do think the Swans will win at the SCG. I made a community post recently that someone's got to go to the SCG, play Sydney in a home prelim. That's going to be tough. And people pointed out that Gold Coast won there. Okay, yes. North Melbourne had them on the ropes. Yes, North Melbourne did have them on the ropes. But I was basing it on the Melbourne game. Bear with me. I know it was at the MCG, all right? Bear with me. If you look at the way they played at the second half, right? If they play like that, the way they played in the second half against Melbourne, if they play like that at home with the home crowd behind them, who's going to beat that? That's what I'm going to say. I know that teams have gone to the SCG and won. Yes, I get that. But if they turn up in that game and they got the crowd behind them. Who's beating that? Please tell me, because I don't think Collingwood will, or Fremantle. I don't see it. I could be wrong, sure. Sydney could choke at the SCG. It's possible, but I'm just saying to myself, because someone said to me like, if that's the reason, then you're basing it more on the team than the stadium. But I'm just like, only one team plays at that stadium. Well, AFL anyway. Obviously, cricket teams do, but you get the point, right? Only one team plays there, so like, what does that mean? What does that mean? I'm just saying, like, you would rather go to Optus right now than go to the SCG, in my opinion. Yes, I know Freo just smashed the Bulldogs, but still, you'd rather go to the Adelaide Oval. That's not in the finals, obviously. You'd rather go to the Gabba than to the SCG at this point. That's all I'm saying. Right, Geelong Melbourne. This will be good. I predict a very close game. But we are just having fun. So when we get to the prelims, we'll talk about this. This is what I predict the finals will be anyway. But let's just say Melbourne and the rematch of week 1. Last week, I tipped Melbourne. But this week, I'm more convinced by Sydney. Yeah, just the way they played that Melbourne game, I was very impressed. I've underestimated them. I knew they were good. They're a top 4 team. I knew they were good. I just didn't think, oh, they're gonna win the flag. I didn't see it. But now I can see it. You see, finals footy is a bit different. Home and away doesn't always reflect finals. See Geelong last few years. All right. So I just wasn't too sure yet. I thought, oh, are they gonna be like the Lions maybe, where they got top 4 and they didn't do much, or will they be like Sydney? Would they be like what they did to Melbourne? And well, now they've proven to me that they can actually do it. So my tip is now Sydney, but this will change next week probably. We'll see. This is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. This is meant to be a 2-minute video. I don't know. I talk too much. Goodbye.